Good morning. Welcome to the course New Product and Service Management. And for today, we will discuss a topic on customer behavior in service encounter. This topic actually is also taken from the book Services Marketing, written by Lovelock and Ritz. And yeah, it is located in chapter 2, which has a title Customer Behavior in Service Encounter. So for the outlines and our overview of the chapter 2, we will focus on how differences among services affect customer behavior. And then there will be three state model of service consumptions, which are pre-purchase, service encounter, and post-encounter. So I guess this state is quite common for any services that customer before they enjoy the service, so they will start from the pre purchase and then go to the service itself, and then after that they give some feedback, which is post encounter service. So back to uh, previous chapter, we have discussed regarding the framework for developing effective service marketing strategy. So number one is understanding customer needs, decision making, and behavior in service encounter. And after that, we try to build the service model and then how to manage and implement the service strategy. Okay. The two key themes in part one of the service marketing strategy. Yeah, this is how to know the differences among service affect customer behavior. So it is called three-state model for service consumptions. So again, guys, customer when they wants to go to the service, which is service encounter, so it is preceded by the pre-purchase state first, which is to search, evaluate alternative, and make decisions. Then they will move to service encounter state, which is a role in high contact and low contact delivery. It means that they will they will meet in the service system, which has operators, direct operators, or indirect operator. So direct operators, it is called high contact, and indirect operator, it is called low contact. And then post encounter states, it is evaluations, again expectations, and also for the future intentions. So how differences among services affect customer behavior? So consumer are very rarely involved in the manufacture of goods, but quite often participate in service creations and delivery. So it is a challenge, of course, for a service marketer to understand how customer actually interact with the service operations. So it is something, maybe it is a black box, but actually we can open that black box. So understanding the customer behavior is quite critical. So based on differences in nature of service act, which can be tangible and intangible, and then who or what is direct recipient of the service can be people and possessions. There are four categories of services. Number one is people. Number two is possessions. Number three is mental stimulus. Number four is informations. So there is four quadrants to map four categories of service. So we try to understand one by one. Yeah, number one, try to look at the y-axis here. So nature of the service act can be tangible and intangible. And who or what is the direct recipient of the service can be people and possessions. So please take a look one by one for tangible actions, and with the people, it is called people processing. Okay, so people processing services directed at people's body. Okay, at people's bodies. It means that directed influencing or people or customer. Okay, in the example like barbers and healthcare. If you go to the barber shops, and let's imagine you go to the barber shops and then you ask the barbers, the operators there, and then so which model of hair that you want us to have, or what treatments, and you also can flexibly asking them to adjust their service, right? And also to healthcare, suppose that you go to a hospital, a certain hospital, meeting nurse, meeting doctors, and a doctor asking you what is the symptoms, and also you ask for how about the medication and etc. And then also intangible actions, and who or what is the direct recipients of the service is possessions. So the possession processing, it means that service is directed at physical possessions. Physical possession. So the example of refuelings and disposal of recycling. Okay, for example, refueling, you go to the fuel stations, you want to refuel your car, for example. So it is matter of possession processing. And then move to intangible actions. Intangible action with the people. So an example, it is called mental stimulus processing. So services directed at people's mind. At the people's mind. So an example of educations, go to school, universities, or non-public or non-formal educations, for example. Okay, and then advertising or PR, public relations, is also another example. And lastly, we talk about information processing, which is the intangible actions and possessions. So services directed at intangible assets. The example of banking system, accounting. So let's imagine that you, as a customer, you will receive tangible actions and also intangible actions. Yeah, and can be directed to the people and can be directed to the possessions. Okay, quite clear, right? Yes, this is a summary. So 4 categories of service. Number one is people processing. People processing. So customer must physically enter the service factory. This is the keyword. Physically enter the service factory and cooperate actively with the service operations. And managers or the service providers should think about process and the output from customer perspective. This is important to identify benefits created and non-financial costs in terms of what? Time, mental, physical effort, and etc. So I think it's more on physical effort, because the operators must be there, or the physical things must be there. So there is good communications, good coordination between customers and service provider. And how about possession processing? So possession processing, customers are less physically involved compared to people processing services less physically. Okay, involvement is very limited, and production and consumption are separable. So it means that if you go to the fuel stations, for example, so he doesn't know about the productions, right? We don't care about the productions, but we care about the fuel is already there, and we just buy that fuels, and we don't ask about the productions. But different with the people processing, because the production the production tend to be there, correct? If you go to the barber shop, for example, then it is a production. It means that the process of cutting your hair, for example, and you have a high contact with the operator or with the barber. Okay. And how about the mental stimulus processing? Okay, the example of educations, right? Educations or trainings. So ethical standards required when customer who depends on such service can potentially be manipulated by suppliers. So it means that the ethical standard, for example, for education in Indonesia, university, okay, university level, we have National Accreditation Board, or we call it BAN-PT, so also it is called Badan Akreditasi Nasional Perguruan Tinggi. So it is an ethical standard, and also many other ethical standard. And then physical presence of recipients not required for today. For example, that education can be done through online, but of course there is a standard that we have to comply. Okay, and then core content of service is information based, and it is can be inventory, right? For example, the lecture notes, courses, you can download and you can uh, you can learn according to the time that is convenient with you, for example. And lastly, information processing. So the example is banking, accounting. So information is the most intangible form of service output, but may be transformed into enduring form of service output. The line between information processing and mental stimulus processing may be blurred. Yes, sometimes people are very confused to differentiate it is called mental stimulus or it is called information processing. Sometimes it is blurred. For example, if you learn banking system, okay, banking system, but again you are customers but also you learn something regarding the banking system. So I think it's a combination between mental stimulus processing and information processing. Okay guys, don't be confused. So if it is blur and it is not really we talk about black and white, so it is maybe gray in the area. Okay, so don't be confused. So you can categorize that service into the combined mental stimulus processing and information processing, for example. Okay, now we move to the three-state model of service consumption, which is I think is a new term to you guys. So three-state model of service consumption again consists of pre-purchase, service encounter, and post-encounter. So to make it clear, we take a look one by one. Pre-purchase state, what is it? So pre-purchase state, yeah, the characteristic you can see from the slide here. The customers seek solutions. Okay, seek solutions to arouse needs. So they have problems, they seek solutions, they have needs. That's very important. Okay, back to the core for any services marketing. Okay, that it is driven by problems and solutions. And evaluating a service may be difficult. Yes, evaluating service may be difficult because not enough data, okay, available, and also uncertainty about outcomes increases perceived risk. Yes, because the outcome is not standard, for example, of that service, and then this is new service especially. So, it will increase perceived risk, but don't worry, we can handle it. Okay, later I will talk about how to handle that one. And then, what risk reduction strategies can service suppliers develop? Yeah, this is what we do as a service provider. That's very important to reduce the risk, right? And then understanding customer service expectation and component of customer expectations and how to make a service purchase decisions. This is a pre-purchase stage. Okay, guys, this there is what's terminologies called expectation. Expectation, it is something expected by the customers. That you know that maybe you set the standard like this one. Actually, customer expect very high, right? Expect very high. But if we are as a service provider, and then we have to realize that phenomenon, right? That customer will expect something high, okay? And we have to fulfill it. So expectations related to problems. So how to fulfill the expectation? We try to provide the solutions. Okay. Okay. This is the perceived risk. Okay, the perceived risk in purchasing and using services. So, in the initial state, that customer will think about perceived risk, but we as a service provider also should think about this perceived risk, right? The first one is functional. Okay, the functional that service functional or not. Unsatisfactory performance outcome, for example. If you go to we talk about banking system or internet banking, so the service provider will ask customer to go to a certain website, and then from that website you can log in. Yeah. So if there is a problem with internet connections and also with the web itself, with the it means that the usability of that website, so it will create unsatisfactory performance. It is called functional because that website can be functional or not functional. Okay. And then financial, monetary loss, unexpected extra cost. Yes, this is very important when people or customer will use, for example, you open a banking system, talk about banking system, then when they deposit money, they will think about, hey, it is safe or not. Okay. Then temporal, it is talking about wasted time, delays leading to problems. Okay, delays leading to problems means that maybe we talk about airport service, right? Airport services, and that in the airport, yeah. So how long the passengers need to wait if they want if they need to wait, and then how we can provide services like you provide waiting room, and then you provide with internet connections that yeah, it is to kill the delays. People don't like delays, right? People don't like to wait. And then physical, talk about personal injury, damage to positions. Okay, this is yeah, physical things. For example, we go to the barber shop, and then suddenly there's a mistake made by the barber, and then it should be cut short, but it is cut not perfectly done. Okay, so the model is different. It is called a personal injury. And then psychological fears and negative emotions, and this is more on emotional. Okay, and so people like we talk about banking system, and when how to make customer not really worried when they go to ATM, for example, ATM, because when they go to the ATM, maybe they worry about the security. So as a banking providers, you should think about how to make ATM machine is safe enough. Okay, then followed by social, how others may think and react. This is social issues, guys. The social issues, this is uncontrollable. For example, how to handle bad news. Okay, and for example, if your company do something not right, and then suddenly it appears in social media. Yeah, so others may think and react that okay, that company is not so good. Then how to handle it? Okay, it also influence the customer expectations. And lastly is sensory, unwanted impact of any of five senses. Yes, five senses. We have eyes, we have ears, we have skin, we have tongue, and we have nose, right? So all the services should satisfy our five senses. Okay, guys, so hopefully that you got the point. And how might consumers handle perceived risk? How might consumers handle perceived risk? So they will seek information from respected personal sources. Now is social media. So if you want to, for example, if you go to certain how to say e-commerce platform like Tokopedia, for example, if you want to buy a product from certain suppliers or certain sellers, and then you go to the comments, right? And then and also the ratings. Also, this is called as a seeking information. It is also related to relying on a firm that has a good reputation. If the rating is high, okay, that a company could has a good reputation, and looking for warranties. Okay, so back to Tokopedia and also other platform, they are very good in terms of giving warranties to the customer. So let's say that the customer not satisfied, then the money can be refunded, right? And that money can be hold. That money cannot go directly to the seller. So it gives you more flexibility and security. And visiting service facilities or trying aspect of service before purchasing, of course, they will see any information for any informations that's really safe to them, right? Asking knowledgeable employees about the competing services. Yeah, they ask to the employees so that the employees, it is the frontline employees like the customer service. So you should train your customer service so that they can give good information, enough information to the customers, right? And then examining tangible cues or other physical evidence. Okay, guys. So it is true that yeah, we as a human, we as a customer will see whether the appearance, the physical evidence, the physical building of your service is good or not, interesting or not, appealing or not. If it is not really good, then they will run away, right? Suppose that you want to enjoy a meal in a certain restaurant, then first I think you will take a look at the menu and then how the building look like, and then how about the colors and etc. It will increase the appetite. Otherwise, then if it's not good, then you just skip and then you go to other restaurants, right? And then using the internet to compare service offering and search for independent reviews and rating. I think we have already talked about this one. So social media, I think right now in terms of the internet is very critical. So how about the strategy responses to manage customer perception of risk? Of course, we offer performance warranties to protect against fears of monetary loss. It is done by Tokopedia, for example, that this give you warranty that your money will be safe enough until you are satisfied. Then that money will go to the sellers. Okay, and then for product where customer worry about the performance sensory risk, offer previews, free trials. Okay, free trials. If you are satisfied, then you can to buy. You can go directly to buy. But if you don't, if you are satisfied, then you are not buying. It should be okay, right? It should be okay. At least you give extra to the customer. So maybe next time they will come back and then buy your service or buy your product. And then advertise. I think everybody knows. And then for product where a customer perceive physical or psychological risk, of course, institute feasible safety procedures. Safety, many safety, because we talk about physical and psychological risk. The safety procedures, we talk about banking system, then safety. How about the safety if for example, ATM machines, if the card is stuck on the machines, and you should provide like yeah, you can call, for example, 999, yeah, for banking issues, so that your money will be safe and you also safe enough. Don't worry about it. And then deliver automated message about anticipated problem. Yeah, I give like that one. Okay, for example, there's announcement, there is a notifications. Okay, uh, if you have any issues, please call our staff 24 hours, for example. And website offering troubleshootings and FAQs, frequently asked questions, and more detailed background, and then train staff members to be respectful and empathetic. Okay, this is yeah, the staff should be very patient and should be very knowledgeable. Okay, respectful and empathetic. It means that don't be angry if the customer complain. Okay, you should be wise and respectful. Okay, yeah, it is called understanding customer service expectations. Okay, more detail that customer evaluate service quality by comparing what they expect against what they perceive, right? It is called situational and personal factors also considered. So expectations of good service vary from one business to another and among differently positioned service provider. And expectations change over time. They change over time. So this is one example. Parents wish to participate in decision relating to their children's medical treatment for heart problems, not only in the medical, but also when they want to seek the education, best education to their children. And media coverage, education, and internet has made this possible, right? That's why we try to hand out to take care of the customer by providing wariness, okay, wariness of customers. So they wants to get this one, that one, that one. What if? So you provide like frequently asked questions, so that you can handle their perceptions. And according to research, we have terminology called zone of tolerance. This is zone of tolerance. This is it means that interval. I won't say that it is interval, but it is an area. Okay, that's why they call it zone. Tolerance between adequate service and desired service. So desired service, it is the most preferable conditions of service asked by the customers. And adequate service, it is the least condition. It is the minimum requirement. Okay, the minimum requirement of the service. Okay, so this one is the basic and this is the top. So in between we call it zone of tolerance. This is the area where the customer will be satisfied to your service. Okay, so this is the explanations. The desired service level, it is a wish for level of service quality that the customer believe can and should be delivered. And adequate service level, it is the minimum acceptable level of service. And we also have a predicted service level. This is the service level that the customer believe firm will actually deliver. But most importantly, we call it zone of tolerance. It is a range within which customers are willing to accept variation in service delivery. I have example, guys. Yeah, Pizza Hut delivery, for example. What is their zone of tolerance? They have a zone of tolerance, 30 minutes delivery. Okay, 30 minutes delivery. So what is the desired service level? The desired service level is maybe 1 minute delivery, right? So once you order and then after 1 minute, the pizza is already there just in front of you. It is, yeah, desired service level, but it's just very difficult. It's very difficult unless you are at the point. It means that you are just in front of the kitchen of pizza delivery. It would be possible, but it is very difficult. But it should be okay. We put it on desired service level for 1 minute. But how about the adequate service level? This is the minimum acceptable. The minimum acceptable may be 30 minutes or 31 minutes. So 31 minutes should be okay, or 30 minutes should be okay. So in between 1 to 30 minutes, 1 to 30 minutes, it is called zone of tolerance. So once the pizza delivered to you in 10 minutes should be okay. 29 minutes should be okay. 30 minutes should be okay as well. 31 minutes, yeah, maybe some of you will be okay. But the service provider, the seller, not really happy with that, or they are worried, a bit worried, so that they give you vouchers, right? That vouchers actually to kill your worriness or give you warranty. Okay. And yeah, then this one is service encounter states. This is the real states. It means that this is the war area, okay, where your customer coming, okay, I mean, and then served by you. So service encounters range from high to low contact. Understanding the servition system. What a servition system is the system for giving service on the spot, okay. And then service marketing system from high contact and low contact, and then role and script theories theater as a metaphor for service delivery. It is what I call you that yeah, I told you that it is called theater, the main stage. And then the implication for customer participation in service creation and delivery. So service encounter states, it is when customer coming and yeah, meeting you directly or indirectly with low contact to high contact. Okay. So this is just an illustration, guys. This high contact to low contact to high contact, and then this one is emphasized on equipment, and this one is emphasized on service personnel, no equipment. So I have an example of cable TV. I think everyone knows cable TV, right? Cable TV, of course, is low contact because compared to what? For example, haircut. Okay, haircut is high contact because you are there with the barber, with the staff, with the operators, right? But here you at home, right? Yeah, cable TV, you enjoy it at home. There is no contact directly, or it is called low contact. And then this one is emphasized with service personnel. Yes, yeah, this is because usually you can call the service personnel, and yeah, I think it's more on service personnel. Of course, haircut is more on service personnel compared to what, for example, subway or MRT. Subway is more on equipment. Yeah, yeah, it is served by train, right? More equipment. Internet base, it is also equipment. It is served by modem, router, cable system, etc. Okay. So high contact service, customer visit service facility and remain throughout service delivery, and active contact between customer and service personnel or service provider personnel. Okay, I think it's clear enough. Low contact, little or no physical contact with service personnel. Contact usually at firm's length through electronic or physical distribution channels, and we can use web or social media or emails, yeah, help to reduce contact level. Okay, and how about the service operations, delivery, and services marketing? Okay, this is called surfactions system, service production and delivery. So it consists of the front states and back states, where input are processed and service element created, including facility, equipment, and personnel. So I have like one example in banking system. They have front line, front states and also backstage. Backstage dealing with the programming, analyzing data and support system data, etc. And front stage are dealing, for example, with the uh, front office officers like tailors and customer service. And how about the service delivery? So in the front stage, where final assembly or service elements takes place and service is delivered to the customer. So this is the real service. So you interact, for example, in banking, when you want to deposit your money and you are facing, approaching the teller, and then teller will process your money, right? Depositing your money. So there is a customer interactions. And how about the service marketing? Include service delivery as above, like this one, and all other contacts between service firm and customer. So for example, when you are at home or you are, you are still in the bank, then customer service approaching you and then talking with you, offering, for example, a new program of banking, for example. This is also called service marketing. So here is the illustration of high contact service. Okay, high contact service. So this is you. This is the customer. So yeah, of course, we contact with the interior and exterior facilities. This is called physical evidence and equipment service people that I said before. So this one is front stage, or in banking, you facing with customer service, tailors. This is the ATM machine, for example, interior and exterior facilities, also ATM machines and banking, waiting room, and etc., including the toilet, guys. And how about the technical core and the backstage? Of course, they have very complex servers, equipment, and etc. Then other contact points will be advertising. Yeah, they offer you with promotions or new program of banking, sales calls, market research survey, somebody calling you and then offering you with the new program, billing statement. They give you billing statement through emails or mails, and then website, many information of the banking, and random exposure to facilities and vehicles. For example, they sometimes they also offering you with another programs, chance encounter with service personnel, and they have, for example, they have a catering, customer catering system, and word of mouth, of course. Yeah. And how about the low contact? So low contact, I actually, yes, this is not really contacted. You are not really contacted by the personnels, but you are contacted through phone, for example, self-service equipment. For example, in banking system, you only use ATM or virtual customer service. Yeah, virtual customer service using phone, and then you are guided to do the operations, or guided through email or mails. Yeah. So there is not enough, or there is no human or personals that directly contacting you, okay, or directly facing you. Okay, so theatrical metaphor in service encounter, it is an integrated perspective. So service dramas unfold on a stage setting may change as performance unfolds. It means that when you are in the service encounter, you see directly what they are doing, what the service provider, service personnel is doing, and it may change. Even they have a standard, but it may change the standard, or your need will be changed as well, or you want to be flexibly asking your requests, for example. And many service drama are tightly scripted, or just improvise. It means that, yeah, they have a standard scripted, And front state personnel are like members of a cast, right? Yeah. And then like actors, employees have roles, they have standards, may wear special costume, uniform, speak required lines, behave in specific ways. I want another example here. When you are flying with five-star airlines, for example, and then you know the stewardess, right? The stewardess will greet you, the way they smile, and then the way they talk. It is trained, okay? It is control, okay? They have rules, they have standard. And then support comes from a backstage production team, yes. And the customer are the audience, depending on the type of performance, may be passive or active participant. Yeah, this is like an analogy of theatrical metaphor for in service encounters. Okay, finally we go to the post encounter states. This is after transactions. So the evaluation, this is more on evaluation of service performance. And for the future intentions, they want us to go back to return, it means, or no. Okay, the feedback can be positive or negative. So customer satisfaction is the central to the marketing concept. Satisfaction defined as attitude-like judgment following a service purchase or series in service interactions. And customer has expectations prior to consumptions. Observe service performance compared to expectation. Okay, so the question is when they are satisfied. It means that when the customer is satisfied, when their expectation less than their perception, or in other words, when perception is greater than expectations, then the customer satisfied. So it is called positive disconfirmation. And how about dissatisfactions or negative disconfirmation? It is when customer perception is less than customer expectation. It means that what they expect is not fulfilled. It means their expectation is too high or beyond the perceptions. Okay. And how about the confirmation? Confirmation if the perception is equal to the expectations. So that satisfaction reflects perceived service quality, price quality, trade-off personal and situational factors. This is very complex combinations. And research shows link between customer satisfaction and overall financial performance. Okay, and we go to the customer delight. It is going beyond satisfaction. Would it be possible? Yes, but it is not really easy. So research shows that delight is a function of three components: unexpectedly high level of performance, arousal, positive effect. So it is beyond satisfaction. They are really, really, really satisfied, even unexpected satisfaction. And is it possible for the customer to be delighted by a very mundane service? Yes. Even they are not asking for that service and then you provide, and they will be delighted. I have an example. Suppose you are going to certain airlines. When you are going to the airport and then you want to go, you want to fly to certain city, and then suddenly there is a delay, and suddenly all passengers given $100 for free. Okay, even you are waiting, it should be okay, right? But it is given, and it is really a delight. Okay, it's going beyond satisfaction. Even you are not expecting to get return $100. $100, but it seems that the company wants to satisfy it, that the company wants to delight the customer. Okay, And getting feedback during the service delivery help to boost customers' loyalty. And progressive insurance seeks to delight customer through exceptional customer service. Yeah, progressive insurance. It means maybe some company apply 100% money warranty, right? I think it is a called progressive insurance. Seeks to delight customer, so customer no need to worry. Okay, guys. For a summary, yeah, hopefully that's yeah, this is a very long story of the concept of service encounter, but hopefully that you gain some informations. So before I end this chapter, so let me summarize. Okay, there are four broad categories of service. So you know that people processing, possessions, mental stimulus, and information processing. So based on difference in nature of service act, tangible and intangible, and who or what is direct recipient of the service, can be people or possessions. So each possess distinctive service management challenges. It means that I think people processing can have unique challenge, possession processing also have unique challenge, etc. Okay, three-step model of service consumption help us to understand and better manage customer behavior. So this is called pre-purchase, pre-purchase in the beginning. So this point actually you have seen before, right? So pre-purchase is this initial states. It is the first state before they go to the real transaction. They will take a look they will find or they will look for any informations before they make a decision. So this and then this is the transactions. This is the decision they made, and they go directly or indirectly to your service, and can be having high contact or low contact. This is the real theatrical drama, right? This is the theatrical metaphor. This is what they enjoy with your service. And after that, it comes to the post encounter states. This is more on evaluations, giving feedbacks, and etc. Okay, guys, I think that's all for this chapter, and hopefully that you have uh, new insight of customer behavior. Thank you. Stay safe and stay healthy.